On to Falcon Blues TV. Man United 3, Everton 1 at Old Trafford. Me and Lee just getting back off the coach and we're done in. So I'm going to keep it brief. Lee, go ahead. You can start.
I don't know how to feel, Dave. It's just one of them, innit? We were headed into that game with little to no hope.
No expectations, was there?
No, really? There wasn't, but it was better.
Yeah.
I think it's another example of that system at the minute. With the lack of quality that we've got, we can't play pretty football that suits us, and we've got to stick to that. We've got to do something. But ultimately, lack of firepower has cost us again. 5
at the back definitely helped, didn't it? I mean, we saw that against Man City. We didn't see it against Brighton. But then it showed. I think it doesn't matter now whether we play 5 at the back away from home or at home. We've got to do it.
Now, all of this stuff about we're at home against Brighton or we're at home against Southampton. We're not 10 years ago. We're not Everton when we were top 6, top 8.
Yeah.
We are the crap now.
Yeah.
So it doesn't matter if we're at home or away. We've got to be solid. When you're struggling and you've got 1 win in 13 or 12, whatever it is, we can't be expansive.
Yeah.
First things first. We've got to be solid. We've got to be hard to beat. You've got to keep the score at 0. Because when you're scoring as few goals as we are, if you concede 1, you're going to be lucky to even get a point. So we've got to stick to that. We've got to keep the likes of Onana, Calvert-Lewin, Godfrey. These are players we've got to keep fit now. Iwobi's a big loss tonight, like
huge.
And again, it just puts pressure on the next week, 9 days to get reinforcements in before Southampton. Because if we don't, you know, it's an uphill task again.
Yeah. So we as I said, with 3-1 tonight. Early goal. Silly goal to concede again, run a play but very early, and again it's these mistakes that are costing us when we're just getting caught out in possession. We come back and we've equalised through Connor Cody, and I think we went into the end of the first half quite buoyant. I think there was a lot of confidence. It wasn't more a case of we can go on and win it, more as we can probably get something out of it, getting back to our place, and you know, build on that confidence more than anything. For me, I think the game fizzled out with Iwobi going off injured, and again, it was a great run because I think he was working a lot harder. He was running the channels. He was starting to make things happen a bit more. He's got in for, you know, he's made a great run down the wing.
I think he's overstretched.
He's been caught, and it's just one of those freak accidents. Really, I don't think it was. There was no intent or anything like that. It's just
often the worst injuries happen when it's just like
a
freak accident. Like
that's
that.
It. So,
but I'm with you. I think half time I felt alright. I thought we could go on and maybe nick it. Man United weren't great.
No, I think they were sloppy. I was reading a bit more. I think a lot of United fans were saying that they were more sloppy rather than Everton were better. I think we played well, but I just think United seemed to just give us more opportunities than we've had at Old Trafford in a long time.
Yeah, that's it. I think they took it easy. I think they probably just turned up thinking, you know, we're playing Everton, they're really struggling, we're just going to turn up. And I think we did give them a bit of a fight. One thing that I'd say, watching that, is I don't think he's lost the dressing room.
No.
I don't think it's as simple as that. I don't think he's the kind of guy who could lose a dressing room, really. But
I think it's just a case of these players. These players aren't good enough.
No, there isn't. We haven't got enough strength in depth. 8 goals in 13 or 14 games now tells its own story. You're not going to come anywhere near survival with that goals per game ratio. You're just not. Everton need attacking reinforcements, but we've known that since Richarlison left. Even before Richarlison left, we knew that when Richarlison was here.
Then we needed that option.
I still think we were short with him there. So the position we find ourselves in now is no coincidence. We've all seen it. You know, I mean, just a word for the support behind it, like there tonight. It's just ridiculous, and it makes me sad more than anything else. I've just seen the images there of just how many was there and how short-changed we are as a group.
The atmosphere was excellent. The Everton fans didn't stop. We were constantly just singing, shouting, screaming, and everything. There was plenty going our way towards like the home end. Right on the home, like on that barrier. So I suppose the question really then is Lampard, yes or no?
You know what? I've said this before. I change my mind every day. Yeah, I just don't know, because I wish it was an easy question to answer, but if you look at the people charged with making that decision, you get rid of Lampard, and you're asking the same divvies who've put us in this mess
to
find a solution.
Yeah.
So I just don't know. So on one hand, I'm thinking it's 1 win in 13, 8 defeats out the last 10 or wherever it is. It's a shocking run of results. Most managers would find themselves out of a job. But it just means having to mess around again, finding another manager with new ideas halfway through a season.
With the same players?
With the same, and that's, you took the words out of my mouth, with the same group of players who have failed time and time again. We're not in it, it's not a great squad. We're woefully short in attacking areas, but we're not an 18th place squad. And the fact is, Lampard should be getting more of a tune out of the players that he's got at his disposal. We shouldn't be 18th, but I'm not surprised we're struggling because we don't have enough attacking threat. We don't score enough goals.
I think when you're saying that, I was saying we were 18th. We literally said it to each other. I think the only consolation there was it was a cup game. Had that been a league game, I'd have really been starting to panic and think, well, even though yes we played well and we still lost 3-1, convincingly lost 3-1 there, and the knives would have most certainly been out. But I think tonight he's not so much Brighton, but I think we looked at Man City, we've looked at Brighton, how bad that was. But then tonight he's sort of almost like he's almost earning himself credit back and forth, but he's either earning it and losing it, or not earning it at all. And I think tonight he's shaved that little bit and just got that little bit more credit tonight, where I think as much as the Evertonians want everything to be rosy and just fucking normal day in the Barclays, really, innit? That's all we want.
Yeah.
I think it's going to be a really tough decision. I think if he's to go, we know it's results oriented, but at the same time it's harsh because it's been the one manager that the fans have managed to galvanise behind, and we've got to go and do that again. And I don't think Evertonians have got the energy to go and try and do this with another manager soon.
I think the energy last year came from the fact that Benitez went, so we were all united in hating him and hating the fact that he was our manager. So almost not anyone, because we see the reaction with that Pereira, but Lampard came in and he had that really going for him. Yeah, he was the successor to Benitez, and he says the right thing. So we all like him, and I don't think any manager's ever had that much goodwill towards him in terms of us wanting someone to do well. But he has been tactically naive. Last week against Brighton, the tactics he chose were just unforgivable for me in such a crucial game. So he's got to learn. So if he does get the chance to lead the side out against Southampton in 9 days, it's got to be perfect. Yeah. And he said it, to be fair to him. I've just caught on the coach there a little snippet of his interview where he's saying he's sick of talking about the fans. It's not on the fans. It's not fair to put the pressure on us because we shouldn't be the people charged with saving Everton. Yeah, we've got our part to play, but the team have got to give us something next Sunday. We have to see. Not just the team as well, and I'm just going to quickly he has to see something. Yeah, and him, but I think I'm just going to quickly dwell on the NS Now campaign and the groups that have now joined in with this as a collective to say, like, listen, it's not about the team, it's not about the manager. We know what that is about. We know, but there's got to be more communication. There's got to be more of a challenge. Tell us what you plan to do with this club, because we're sinking. You've got Mashiri has now got this opportunity to speak to the fans, to say, okay, this is the outline for the next 6 months. Even if if he wants to give it 6 months, say, listen, I'm selling up at the end of the season. Fine, at least we know. But there's got to be then, well, what are you doing to support the manager to keep this football club in the Premier League, in the new stadium? Because if it's all to do with the stadium and everything, if that's his one goal, then you need to start looking for someone to sell faster, because it's not going to work for Everton. It's not going to work for the club. No. It's all good and well saying, oh well, I'm just waiting to sell the stadium and build the stadium, but there's got to be a team to go in that stadium as well. Yeah, absolutely. Listen, if we were top of the league or in the top 4, I'd understand them being quiet and not being at games. And being absent. You wouldn't be bothered. But in our position now, I find it remarkable. I find it disgusting that he's quiet and the club are quiet, and with the fans who deserve so much more, it's such a slap in the face to me, you, every single Evertonian out there, to just say nothing, and say, okay, we're 18th. deal with it.
But look at that attendance tonight.
Yeah, it's ridiculous, and we don't deserve it. The club don't deserve that level of support. They don't. It's 30 years now of being completely shortchanged with nothing to show for it. Young kids, teenagers, lads there who are just putting their heart and soul into it. And what do we get back? You know, we're having to take small mercies out to get and beat 3-1, but it's a little bit of a better performance. That's how low. This is Everton football. I remember growing up, me and you were the same age-ish. You're a bit older.
Thanks, mate.
But we were massive, like huge.
Yeah.
Huge. Like you mentioned the word Everton, and it sent ripples.
You just want that scrap of
just some
dignity back and that bit of hope, isn't it?
At the minute, I don't feel like I can hold my head high as an Evertonian, and that hurts.
Yeah.
I feel almost not embarrassed. I'll never be embarrassed to be an Evertonian, Dave. But there's nothing to hold me hat. There's nothing to get behind. There's nothing to go. Right, okay, brighter times around the corner. We're only this away or that away from being challenging again or anything like that. We seem miles away. We seem further than ever from being a competitive force again in the Premier League, and that is on the board.
Yeah.
And that's why there's this movement, and that's why everyone's getting behind it, and rightly so. I just hope they can listen for once.
Yeah, that's all it is. You just listen to the fans now. They've got to start paying attention, and something has to give, because I think the fans have fed up. The energy is, we're at an all-time low of energy. I mean, like I just said to you, I don't think I've got the energy to go through another fucking relegation scrap again. Last season just completely wiped everyone out, and I don't think Evertonians, they will, because we do what we do. But I think,
will it be enough this year? That's my fear.
That's the question.
I've got no doubt, and I've got no question in my mind. Evertonians will do what they need to do when they need to do it, because we all care about the club. But is it going to be enough? We haven't got Richarlison this year.
That's it.
So is that energy that's going to feed from the terraces onto the pitch? Who's it getting fed to?
Yeah,
players who can't do it, and we just haven't got enough this year, and that's my fear, that you'll get it from the Evertonians, but
whether you get it from everyone else,
well, you'll get effort. I think you'll get the effort from the players when we need to, but ultimate effort isn't always enough.
Exactly.
You need quality, and in the Premier League, if you're not scoring goals, opposition, there's no crap teams in the Premier League anymore.
No,
there's not. There's everyone's got players who can hit you on the day. And if you're not scoring goals, all it takes is for them to have a bit of, an 8 out of 10 day, score a free kick, whatever, and that's it. You're behind the 8 ball.
That's it.
And Everton are going to be losing more games than we're winning, because we just don't score enough. That's what it comes down to. We've been stripped of assets in forward areas, in creative areas, and we're left with a squad now that just doesn't create anything. It doesn't cause enough problems, and you can't survive in the Premier League without that. So we've got 9 days to sort it out, because we can't leave it until after Southampton. It's another fixture.
You're in that 9 days, get it fucking done.
TikTok.
No what? Let's leave it at that, mate. I think that's been pretty good there. Let us know what you think in the comments. Make sure you like and subscribe to the channel as always. Thank you for everyone who does. But yeah, let us know what you think. And up the fucking toffees, Colin Chong, and we'll see you at Southampton.
Keep the faith.
Please.